Oh, hey guys, wanted to log in and share some of the questions we got yesterday. So everybody, Mr. Speen and I always want to be very, very transparent so everybody knows what's going on. So question number one that we got was, will they get homework? We're not going to assign you guys any homework. Our class has a lot of independent work for you guys to do. So whatever you're not finishing each day is stuff that you should try to finish by the end of the day for homework. It would also be a good idea to set goals for yourself for reading and completing books. And there are always extra problems. We don't assign all the problems in the math book. So if you wanted extra practice or wanted to do homework, or you're a parent and you want them to do more homework, they can do more problems in the book that aren't assigned. And they have in their pile of books, there's a thin little extra practice book that has from the actual 3-2 or 3-6 that we're doing, there's an extra page to practice there. So you always have tons of extra practice. Okay, question number two is, when is work due? Okay. Work that we assign that goes into one of your virtual notebooks, Mr. Speen and I always check the next day. And we're logging through to check your writing, see how you're doing. That's not stuff that's so much for grades, but just your participation to make sure you're doing the work you're supposed to be doing. So like if we assign stuff on Monday, we go through and check you mostly for participation, like on Tuesday. So it would be the next day. Whenever we assign quizzes through Canvas, I know quizzes everybody thinks is a big grade. That's how we're checking your understanding, your participation. Those are open for a full week. So we will tell you we want you to go in and do the quiz. And you should be doing that quiz in that independent time that you have. But if you finish it later in the day, that's fine. The quizzes and assignments, when you hear the word quiz, just think assignment, participation, that kind of thing. Those stay open in the grade book for an entire week. So if you log into any of your tiles, math, reading, social studies, or science, and click on grades, you'll see if you have open assignments. They stay open for 1 week. At the end of a week, they'll just zero out, and it's going to affect your participation score. Now, we will have tests. Those are more time sensitive. Those are going to have to be completed in a very specific window, mostly with Mr. Speen and I on Zoom. And we're still trying to get the specifics with how the school wants us to do those kind of tests. But all of that said, you pretty much have a whole day to complete your notebook work. You have a week to complete those quizzes or assignments, and tests are a little bit. You should be working in the times when it says independent on your daily schedule. Those are the times you're supposed to be working on all this work. You guys know we meet from 8 to 9 for reading and math as a whole group, and from 9 to 10, you should be doing reading work the whole time. Then you get a half-hour break. Then from 10:30 to 11:30, we do math. From 10:30 to 11 will be our whole group lesson. Then from 11 to 11:30, you should be working independently on your math. Then there's a break. Then we go into science. We do our whole group science together before lunch. Then we go to lunch, specials, and then you have independent science work to finish for the last half hour of the day, and then the day ends at 2. So the day should be flowing like that. If you see the kid getting off and from 9 to 10:30, they have nothing to do, they're not doing their work the right way. Follow the schedule. Okay, question number 3 was, how much Iready should they be doing? We are going to use Iready. We also have something new called Achieve 3000. You are not going to really do any Iready consistently until after we take our diagnostic test, which I think is next week. So they'll take the initial diagnostic to get their levels. It'll set their path. It will give them very specific lessons that will help them moving forward. But we're not going to do any of that until after the diagnostic. So you'll see the Iready getting built in. And Mr. Speen and I can see what tests they struggle with, which lessons they struggle with. We can see how much time they're investing in that. So that will be a huge part of your participation. Being at home, it's very, very hard for us to gauge participation without these things. How is attendance? Attendance is taken through Canvas each morning. I also have to verify that all kids are online between 7:40 and 8 o'clock. And if you're not on, I have to mark you absent. And if you come on after 8 o'clock, you'll be marked absent, but then I can go in and I'd switch it, and then you would be tardy. We also take attendance at the beginning of math and science. So really, you have to be on at 8 o'clock, 10:30, and 11:50. And a lot of our friends are starting to be very, very late for math at 10:30 and science at 11:50. And those are short windows for us to show you what to do. So you've got to get on at 10:30 and 11:50 for those lessons. If you're showing up for math at 11:55, you've missed the whole lesson and you're going to go right into the independent work not knowing what to do. And I do have to keep a list of the people that are here on time for math, the ones that come late, and then after a certain time, you just get marked absent for the whole math session. Now that might not show up officially, through the school, but if you start to have tons of absences and lates online, that's something we have to talk about because that affects the school. Because if you're not there for our lessons, it's almost like we tell the kids. It's almost like we come back from lunch, we start math at science at 11:50. And it's like, if you're not on at 11:50, it's like you're standing outside in the hallway. So we really need you guys to all be really responsible. 45 or 50 of us do spectacular, but we need that last 5 to 10 people to be there. So you'll get a mark for reading for the day and for reading, math, and science as whether you're present, late, or absent. Like 4 times a day we mark it. How do they know what assignments to complete? You guys all have your online notebooks that gives them very, very detailed instructions as to where to go and how to do it. You can click on each subject and check for completed assignments and the students, your percentage and average, like I talked before. If you go into the subject and go to grades, you can very, very easily find what assignments you have due. What if they have questions while working? Mr. Speen and I, we constantly have small groups. All of those independent times when they're independently working, we are online. We are online the whole entire time. So you can always sign in to ask us questions. And we've showed you that email, the email in Canvas. It beeps on my phone. I get it almost immediately. So I can always, if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you have a question, Mr. Speen and I most times will be able to log back in and help you. So you guys and the parents, you guys have to be very, very, you have to use us. You have to let us know what's going on. The hardest part of this e-learning for Mr. Speen and I is not knowing what's going on with the kids. And then how do they know where to find things in the notebook? If you just click on the different sections of the notebook, we're adding in class notes into the math and reading sections all the time. So maybe we'll do a little video about that. But if you sit down and have them show you the notebook and go through the things that it says to go through in the What to Do Today notebook, you will see all of those things. All right, if you guys have any other questions, definitely let me know. If not, we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.